So race 3-1-3 underway, and we've had quite a lot of action in the opening exchanges. We do apologise for being off air, just discussing the virtues of Henley Women's Regatta at length. But we've got the Championship Lightweight Singles, Camilla Plum on the Berkshire Station representing Peterborough City, and Lucy Eibel representing Grosvenor Rowing Club of Chester on the Buckinghamshire Station. You can just see there, Izzy, the scullers coming together in the middle of the course. The umpire was called into action a couple of times early on. They've separated now, but coming out of the shadows of Temple Island and leaving behind the shelter that it naturally provides, we've got quite a race on our hands.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be interesting. At the start, it certainly looked like Plum from Peterborough was going to take a lead, but quite quickly, Eibel pulled back, and now they're almost even, actually. There's really not much in it at all. I think this could be how it's going to look all the way down the course, actually.
Absolutely, and two scullers that are pretty well matched domestically as well. Camilla Plum qualified for the Princess Royal Challenge Cup at Henley Royal last year, so a very established sculler, and has represented England at the last two home international regattas, whereas Lucy Eibel, she learnt to row at St Cuthbert's Society College Boat Club at Durham University before moving to Grosvenor Rowing Club Chester, and represented Wales in the lightweight single and lightweight double at last year's home counties. So you can just see those two scullers making their way down. And I have to say, Lucy Eibel making full and frank use of her station on the Buckinghamshire side of the course. But wow, as they come past us, we've got a fantastic singles race, lightweight singles race on our hands. I'd give that about a canvas at the moment to Lucy from Grosvenor, but very little to choose between either of them.
Yeah, they certainly look like hugely powerful girls. The way they're rowing down is fantastic to see, actually. They're really, really strong and powerful in their strokes. And rating quite highly as well, I would say.
Well, lightweights tend to, don't they? Because obviously in terms of power output, lightweights tend to be pretty well matched, as they all have to adhere to the same weight regulation. So it often comes down to who's got it, who's got the mental fortitude to actually be able to see off their opposition, and in addition, who has the technical proficiency to overcome any challenges that are thrown their way. But at the moment, it looks to me like Camilla Plum of Peterborough City Rowing Club mounting a bit of a charge here. You can see the back really coming through for her. I think she's trying to move through Lucy Eibel of Grosvenor Rowing Club, having a bit of success at doing so as well.
Yeah, it certainly looks like she's pushing through there. I have to say, I think single racing is definitely one of the hardest things, as you're there on your own, just trying to push yourself up down the river. So it's all sort of a psychological battle all the way up as who can just keep pushing. And I think especially when you're side by side like that, it's really hard work.
Gladiatorial in its very nature, and actually it wasn't so much a proactive move as a reactive move from Camilla Plum, because I think she realised that the sculler to her left-hand side was slipping away out of sight, and that she needed to perform some evasive action to get back on terms, and desperately trying to hold on to Lucy Eibel of Grosvenor Rowing Club Chester as those two scullers make their way down the course. Actually, Lucy being warned now to get back on station. Camilla hugging the booms quite tightly. That might be something to do with the fact that Lucy's currently sat pretty much bang in the middle of the course.
No, I think we were right when they were just starting their race, in the fact they were going to be close all the way down the course, because they have stayed pretty much in contact with each other, with just inching out ahead slightly.
Yeah, I have to say the slightly more fluid style that Lucy Eibel is currently demonstrating paying dividends, because she looks to have established a margin of control over this semi-final championship lightweight singles sculls. You can just see she's underrating her opposition, but just looking a little bit more efficient at either end of the stroke, taking the boat and moving it on every time. There's no drama, there's nothing unpleasant at either end. She bends her arms a little bit at the catch, which, you know, some people disagree with as part of the rowing stroke, but each to their own at the moment. That style seems to be working wonders for her, because she's moved out to a length.
Yeah, she certainly looks very relaxed in that position. Still pushing really hard, but just relaxed and knowing that she can make it over that finish line before her opposition can.
Well, that is the premise of rowing, isn't it, Izzy? Get to the finish line before your opposition does. Lucy Eibel making a pretty good fist of this one, just looking down the course at what is a stunning view with the church set into the background of the Oxfordshire countryside and the booms demarcating probably the world's most famous rowing course. There we go, we can see those two lightweight scullers in race 3-1-3. Lucy Eibel of Grosvenor Rowing Club Chester on the Buckinghamshire Station, the left-hand side of your picture, leading Camilla Plum of Peterborough City on the right-hand side of your picture. And I think this has been in a war of attrition, one that Lucy Eyeball will win quite convincingly in the end, actually.
Yeah, no, it looks that way from the screen now at the moment, doesn't it? I think Lucy Eyeball certainly had more strength in this particular race.
Absolutely. So we'll move back to the start after the conclusion of race 313 to take on race 314, the second semi-final of the Championship Lightweight Single Sculls, and it's Oxford University women on the Berkshire station and Newcastle University on the Buckinghamshire station. Eleanor Watts from Oxford and Fiona Chestnut from Newcastle. And there we go, we can see the sculler from Newcastle had by far and away the better of the two starts. You can just see the two blades where Fiona's stroke side blade is going in. It's, well, a length and a half up on where Eleanor's bow side blade is going in. So there we go. We can see as they come past Temple Island. What a start from Fiona Chestnut of Newcastle University.
Yeah, it was an extremely fast start, but Newcastle have been putting in a good performance over the past couple of days. We've seen them racing in a variety of different boats, and all of them have been coming pretty much finalists, I think, from what I've seen, or at least having very, very close races with their opposition. So they clearly have an insanely strong rowing programme over at Newcastle. You can see from that overhead shot just how far ahead the Newcastle rower is.
Well, we shouldn't be at all surprised to see Fiona performing so well. She actually finished 9th at the final GB Trials and 3rd in the lightweight quad at the Bucks Regatta. So no surprise to see her dominating proceedings here. Of course, Eleanor Watts, president of the Oxford Lightweight Women for this year and 5th in the A final of the intermediate single sculls at Bucks Regatta. But I think at the moment, she has met her match well and truly. Fiona Chestnut of Newcastle University dominating proceedings in the opening exchanges as they make their way past the quarter mile signal and up towards the barrier.
No, I do think Watts will have to put in an extremely fast and miracle performance, I think, here to come past the Newcastle rower. I think it's a very unlikely event for Oxford to come ahead in this race, as the Newcastle rower just looks so confident as she's going down the course.
Well, stranger things have happened, but not many. And Fiona Chestnut working her way past our commentary position, keeping the rate high, the legs still pressing down, but you can see the synchronicity and actual cohesion of her stroke. All the timings, all the markers are correct. The legs are going down, the back's coming through to accentuate the middle of the stroke, and she's finishing in a nice, efficient position so that she's set up well for the following stroke. And no disrespect to Eleanor Watts, who's putting in a pretty strong performance, but as they pass the barrier, Fiona's showing no signs of allowing her opponent to come back into this one.
No, I think that's a pretty done deal of a race. I think Fiona definitely has that one in the bag there.
So while we watch these two crews make their way down the course, just have a look at our screens for some results. And race 310, a win for Lower Merion High School of the USA by 3 lengths over Aberdeen. Race 311 was a win for Headington School Boat Club over Latimer by 1 length and a quarter. And my screen is showing Marlow as having been disqualified in the junior coxed 4 category. Whether or not that is correct, this is only information that I'm being fed through. But Henley Rowing Club progressing through, as you saw, they row down the course. 313 was a win for Grosvenor Rowing Club. We're just waiting for the exact margin of victory. And race 314 on the course as it stands. Newcastle dominating proceedings here. So as we watched race 3-1-4 make its way down the course, Fiona Chestnut in complete control of her semi-final of the Championship Lightweight Women's Single Sculls. Race 3-1-5 Championship Lightweight pairs underway now. Thames Rowing Club on the Berkshire Station in Cambridge.